Alright, stop for a second. This isn't a joke and it's not clickbait. In 2026, Danger Zone is officially back in CS2. And no, Valve didn't do it. One guy from the community did. While Valve has been sitting on CS2 for years figuring out what to do, someone just went ahead and ported Danger Zone from csgo into CS2 with working servers, real players, actual changes. And from this point on, things get really awkward for Valve when it comes to CS2 content. What's up everyone? Dale here. Today we're talking about Danger Zone in CS2, who actually made it happen, how it even exists right now, what's changed compared to csgo, and why this whole situation makes Valve look pretty questionable. We'll also get into what this could mean for the future of CS2. Long story short, this isn't a rumor or a maybe someday situation. It already happened. A CS2 content creator named Epidemic went live on Twitch and straight up said it. He's porting Danger Zone from csgo into CS2 right now in an alpha state with working servers. This isn't a concept, it's not mock-ups, and it's not "we'll see how it goes." People are already playing it, and that's the moment where a lot of us stopped and thought, wait, how did this even happen? And the answer is actually pretty simple and kind of telling. Valve left the door open. Tools, workshop access, custom servers, the ability to build community content. And while Valve barely uses those tools themselves, the community absolutely does. Epidemic didn't wait for updates, announcements, or roadmap teasers. He took an existing mode, adapted it to CS2, and shipped it in an alpha state. No promises, no hype, just here it is, go play it. And that's how some of the most interesting things in Counter-Strike have always been born. See the promo code on the screen. Don't wait for a lucky chance. Luck is already on your side. Enter the promo code on our website and collect top loot from GGDrop. Have fun hunting! And this is where things get really awkward. One person from the community managed to do what Valve hasn't done during the entire lifespan of CS2, even going back to the limited test. Not a studio, not a dev team. One guy, with working servers, a playable mode, and clear improvements. And at that point, all the usual excuses about engine limitations, priorities, or bad timing start to sound weak. Because if a community developer can pull this off, the question isn't whether it's possible anymore. The real question is why Valve chose not to. And this is exactly why this hit at the perfect time. Over the past few weeks, Valve has been actively updating Deadlock, patches, tweaks, experiments. Meanwhile, Counter-Strike players keep asking the same question: when is it our turn? CS2 has felt empty for a while now. The same modes, barely any new content, and a real sense of stagnation. And when Valve stays quiet, the community steps in. Danger Zone landed right on that pressure point. People just needed something new to play. Now the practical part. How do you actually play this? There's no trick here. Epidemic set everything up on his own servers. You go to his Twitter, hit the link in his bio, and it takes you to the server page. From there, you select the Danger Zone section, choose the black site map, and then pick your region, Europe or NA. NA only has one server right now, but it's active and well populated. And honestly, what stands out right away is how smooth it feels. More stable than official Danger Zone ever felt back in csgo. And this is where the difference hits immediately. One of the biggest problems with Danger Zone in csgo was the awful early game. No weapons, no money, running around hoping for luck. That's gone here. There's more loot, money comes in faster, and no matter where you drop, you're almost guaranteed to find a weapon. It completely changes the pacing. Instead of surviving the first few minutes, you actually get to play right away. Next up are perks and drops, and this is where it really shows that the person behind this actually played Danger Zone. The perk system has been reworked. It's clearer, more useful, and doesn't feel like random filler. Drops are smoother and faster. They don't kill the pace of the match or pull you out of the action. The result is a mode that feels cohesive instead of clunky, like this is how it should have worked from the start. Another big change is how weapon slots work. You can now carry 2 primary weapons plus a secondary and your knife. It sounds simple, but it changes the mode a lot. Before, you'd often get stuck with something like an MP9 and pistols and just had to deal with it. Now, you can properly cover both close and long range. Auto snipers are gone, because in Go, they were straight up broken. You can't buy an AWP, but you can still find one if you're lucky. The result is a weapon pool that actually feels balanced, without cheap deaths caused by the mode itself. And this is where the fun really kicks in. Bump mines can now be stacked and you no longer take fall damage from them. That means the mode finally stops punishing aggressive and creative play. You can move fast, take positions, make sharp pushes, and most importantly, create clips that are actually worth watching. Before, bump mines felt like a gimmick with limits. Now they're a real tool that genuinely adds depth to the gameplay. This is the change that really flips the mode on its head. Danger Zone now has the repulsor, basically a respawn mechanic. It works like a respawn beacon. You place it on a rooftop or inside a building, and if no one destroys it, you can come back into the match. Yes, it makes noise. Yes, enemies can break it. And no, it's not a free second life. But the existence of respawn alone changes decision-making. You play bolder, take more risks, and experiment. Danger Zone finally stops being a mode where one mistake instantly sends you back to the menu. And this part actually matters a lot. The mode holds up technically. FPS feels noticeably better than Danger Zone ever did in CSGO, and honestly, in some moments it feels more stable than you'd expect from custom CS2 content. During testing, there were no cheaters, no weird crashes, and no feeling that the server might fall apart at any second. And that's where it gets kind of ironic. A community-made mode runs smoother and cleaner than what official servers used to deliver. Let's be realistic here. Valve most likely won't officially bring Danger Zone back to CS2. Not because the mode was bad, but because in CSGO, it never became truly mainstream. Player numbers were low, it lived in its own bubble, and for Valve that has always meant low priority. On top of that, Danger Zone is a separate ecosystem that needs constant support, balancing, and updates. And judging by Valve's current direction, their focus is clearly elsewhere. That's why this port doesn't feel like a setup for an official comeback. It feels like a reminder that just because Valve isn't doing something doesn't mean it can't be done. And this is where it all comes together. A single community developer can an entire back into CS2 with servers, balance, and real playability, then what's actually stopping Valve from doing the same? Danger Zone 2 isn't perfect, and it's clearly still alpha, but it's real content people actually want to play, and compared to how stale CS2 has felt, that contrast is impossible to ignore. Thanks for watching. If you're as driven as the Counter-Strike community itself, there's still hope for this game. This was Dale. Don't forget to subscribe and drop a like. Wishing you some great games.